Oh, yeah.
Mr. Taylor, could you give your full name and when you came to Muncie and where you are right now?
Jake Theodore Taylor.
And when you came to Muncie?
I came to Muncie in 1948.
And where did you come from?
I came from Libertyville, Illinois.
Did your parents, when did your parents come at the same time?
No, my parents is passed, and they have been passed for quite a few years, see, before I left home.
They did not come to Muncie at the
No,
same time?
and Libertyville was not my home. That's where I came from here.
What particular problems did you run into when you first came to Muncie?
Well, I didn't have any trouble, because at that time the work was very scarce, but I was fortunate that I got a job right off the reel, and I have never been out of work since I've been in Muncie. And I didn't have any problems at all.
What year did you say you was born?
1906.
Do you remember instances of groups, in the past Negro history, we've always had cases or heard of cases of certain groups that intimidate and terrorize black people. Were there such a group as the Klan operate in this area? Do you have any information about them?
No, I don't have any information about them here, because since I've been here, I haven't come in contact with any of that kind here. But in other places I have.
Could you describe some of the circumstances around those incidents?
Well, I was born and raised in Kentucky, and of course they had quite a few of that in that part, and I was kind of young at that time, and I didn't know too much about it, but they did ride the horses, so they tell me quite a bit, and I think burned a few crosses.
Were there any instances of physical violence on people or on property in the area you were in?
Not that I can recall of, no.
How do you view the so-called black middle class or black upper class? Are they helping blacks in Muncie as the way you see it, or did they help them in the town that you was born in?
Well, to know about the town I was born in, I haven't been back too much, but it seemed to be when I do go back, things have improved quite a bit, and for its work and labor and the condition of the people.
You mentioned labor. How was labor when you came to Muncie? Were you able to find the type of job you wanted, or did you find that your color barred you from a lot of jobs and labor unions? Did this influence your choice of work?
No, I didn't have any problems at all. When I was looking for a job, I wasn't too choosy, but I was lucky that I got a real good job. I went to work at Country Club, Delaware Country Club, and I stayed there 4 years. And I never had any trouble at all, because I had real good treatments. They was nice to me there, and I think there was anyone. And I went from there to Green Hill Country Club, and I was treated real good there. Now, I can't speak for no one but myself, see.
What type of work were you doing at these different country clubs, and what kind of job did you receive after that?
I was doing janitor work part of the time, and then I did quite a bit of serving, waiting the table, and bartending, because I did extra work, and they always give me good breaks on parties and like that, so I never had any trouble at all.
Were there other people working with you, other black people working with you, or were you just the only black working at that time out there? Or if others were working there, what kind of jobs were they doing?
Well, it was others working there at the time, and of course some of them had the same kind of job that I had. It's a waiting table and some tending bar and like that, and janitor work. So we all got along fine, because it was partly a mixed group, and so I never had any trouble, and don't remember of any trouble.
In other words, you're saying you or them never complained. Did any of your associates that work with you complain of ill treatment?
No, not of ill treatment, because a lot of time they would, have things to say that they think they wasn't getting the fair break they should get. But I thought that I got a fair break because they treated me real good.
Were they doing the same work, or did you do a different type of work? How would you like to comment on that?
Well, I was kind of hard to say. I'd hate to comment on that, whether they taking a liking to me or not. But anyway, I got along. I never had any trouble, and I worked 9 years at the Green Hill Country Club, at the pro shop, and at the club. And I worked from behind the kitchen to the pro shop, and I never had a minute trouble with anybody. And I was during all the big tournaments they had people from all over town and out of town. So I got along with the public real good.
Did the Green Hills Country Club, I think I know what it is, did they exclude blacks from having memberships there or any other country clubs at this time, and how does that affect blacks today in these country clubs? They are private. Are they excluding membership?
Well, now Green Hill, they didn't have any members there, and they didn't allow anyone in the colored play on the golf course. But out at Delaware, they didn't allow anyone to play on the golf course. But Green Hill, they did allow them to play in the tournament, like the Elks Club when they had their tournament out there.
Was that only in the tournament?
Only in a tournament.
Being that they only let blacks play in the tournament, how did that affect you as a worker? What were your thoughts about the people, even though they were treating you nice? What were your thoughts? Were they in sentiment with the players, or did you think that the bosses had a certain reason for not letting blacks play, as if they were not good enough?
Well, it seemed to me that they thought that they wasn't good enough. Now, we had, in one occasion, we had caddies, that for the golfers, and they wouldn't let any colored caddy. And we had one guy came from Indianapolis, and he brought his caddy with him, which was colored. They let him caddy, but they wouldn't allow any other colored caddies to caddy while the whole time I was out there. Because I said, they really treated me nice. I was treated swell. But I don't think it was really fair to the black.
Mm-hmm. In other words, they were nice to you personally, but far as being discriminatory to the whole race, they were all putting them in a, how would you say, a black bag, so to speak.
Yeah, I would say they were putting them all in the same bag. Now, I've had them to tell me that we don't consider you black, we consider you one of us. But that is because I was giving good service. I knew that I was in the same sack with the rest of them, other than my service I was giving.
So then they were telling you that in order good service mean whiteness, and that you were really, black, well, black on the outside but white on the inside. This is what they're trying to tell you.
That's right. They've told me a lot of times that we don't consider you as the other, so we consider you as one of us. And because I knew how far that went, it meant just as long as I was giving good service and done what I was supposed to do.
Beautiful. On politics in Muncie, how do you tend to vote? Did your parents tend to vote Democratic, or did they even have a chance to vote? And how do you see blacks moving politically, if there's any power there?
Well, at the time that my four parents was able to vote, most everybody voted, all colored voted Republican at that time. And that's the way that I was brought up, is voting Republican. But after I got up on my own, then right up until now, I'm not too much in politics, but I like to vote for the man that I think is for the right thing.
Okay. How do you view black churches now? A lot of blacks are saying that black preachers are preaching, save your soul, go out and work hard, and then the Lord will save you. Now the black youth especially is turning away from the church. And why is this the case?
Well, that's a pretty hard question for me to answer, not having any more knowledge of the different churches than I do.
Comment maybe on your own church, and how do you see it there?
Well, I see the Baptist is pretty much on the same order and rules that they have been on for quite a while. And for them varying in it, I don't see that they are varied too much, the Baptists.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Jake. If you have any further comments you'd like to make, we'd be glad to hear them.
No, I don't have anything that I'd like to say on it, that I appreciate having the opportunity to say what few little words that I have said and what I think, and I hope I've been of some good.
Okay, thank you.